Let's take a few minutes and talk about what Jesus said about human incapability, because he did address the topic, and he addressed it very directly. Here's what he said. In Luke chapter 12, starting at verse 25, "And which of you, by taking thought," the NASB says, by worrying, "can add a single hour to his lifespan? If then you cannot do a very little thing, why do you worry about other matters?" By taking thought, by your own will, by your own determination, by your own decision. By those things, you cannot do even what Jesus calls very little things. And the example that he gives is that you cannot add 1 hour to your lifespan. When it's time for you to die, nobody, no doctor, not you yourself, can keep you here on the planet. When it's time to die, you're going to die. And you cannot, at the point of death, will yourself to keep living. So if you can't do such a little thing as prolong your life by taking thought, by worrying about it, then what makes you think that you can determine your heavenly destiny and your eternal state before God by taking thought, by making a decision, by choosing? What makes you think that you're actually capable? Your will is so limited that it is only your hubris, your pride, that makes you think that it's all up to you. So there's the pointed question from Jesus. Which one of you, by taking thought, by willing, by determining, by choosing, which one of you can add a single hour to your lifespan? When it's time to die, are you going to have the ability to suddenly think, "Oh no, I choose not to die right now"? We don't have that ability. When it's time to die, it's time to die. And your thinking, your deciding, your choosing, your self-determination cannot add any time to your lifespan. In another place, Jesus says, "Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit to his stature?" In other words, which of you can make yourself any taller? I've been stuck here at 5'6" since high school. I would have loved to have been taller, but it just didn't happen. You have no idea how much I have willed that my hair did not fall out. And I think you can see how well that went. See, our human will, our human decision-making ability is very, very limited by our incapacity. We don't have the ability to actually execute the things that we determine. So Jesus used that example in order to say, why do you worry? Your worry, your taking thought, your being concerned about this life and the life to come isn't in your hands. It's in God's hands. And He will provide for you everything necessary in this lifetime and in the life to come. Here's the way Jesus put it. Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, but I tell you, not even Solomon in all his glory clothed himself like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass in the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, how much more will he clothe you, ye men of little faith? And do not seek what you will eat and what you will drink, and do not keep worrying. For all these things the nations of the earth, the Gentiles, eagerly seek. But your Father knows that you have need of these things. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be added to you. Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has chosen gladly to give you the kingdom. We began this series of videos about human incapability and the necessity of grace by pointing out that Jesus said, if you're not born again, you cannot see the kingdom of God. Now here's Jesus talking to his little flock, talking to the people who God gave him. And he says, it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's how people go from you cannot enter the kingdom of God all the way to it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And if you know that it is God's determination to give you his everlasting kingdom, that you are going to stand in the glory that only he rightly deserves, if you know that's all true because he has quickened you, because he has opened your eyes, your ears, because he has given you the ability to understand his word and the gifts that he has given you, if that's the case with you, then you're among the little flock. You are the little flock who God has prepared eternity for and glory for. Therefore, why are you worrying about the stuff of this life? Jesus says, you can't even do little things like grow hair or get taller or add an hour to your lifespan. And if you can't do that, then clearly life is not up to you. It's up to God. And if it's up to God and he has already provided for your eternity by providing his own Son to guarantee your eternity, how much more is he also going to take care of getting you from here to that promised eternity? Whatever things you need here in this lifetime, he knows you have need of those things. The Gentiles, the unregenerate, those that are not born again, they spend all their life, because they have the spirit of this world, they spend their life seeking after whatever they can accumulate here in this world in this lifetime. But the little flock is not supposed to seek after those things that the Gentiles, that the unbelievers look out for. Instead, we are to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And all these things will be added to you. So, the one who has guaranteed your eternity is also going to take care of you in this lifetime, because it is his good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Your will is incapable. It's incapable of doing, as Jesus said, even the smallest thing. In other words, it is the will of God. It is the determination of God. It is the good pleasure of God to save his people, his little flock. And because it's up to him and not up to you, I say again, it has to be grace.